Alright guys, this is your second lesson of the week, and we are doing metric conversions still, and this time we're doing mass, but I'm hoping you see that once you understand what it is, it doesn't matter what its label is, whether it's grams, liters, or meters, you're still just getting practice with what those conversions look like. So this should hopefully be the easiest day of the three that you've been doing these metric conversions, and that King Henry chart really helped you out yesterday. That's my hope, okay? So just as a reminder, this is that King Henry chart we had talked about yesterday, or whatever day you did this video. And basically, the quick rundown of it again is that kilos are really big. So because they're big, the amount of them is pretty small. Whereas millis are teeny, teeny, tiny, and because of that, there are lots and lots and lots of them, okay? The middle is where you start, and that's where you've got your meters, your liters, and your grams, and those are called our unit unit measurements. So because of that, that's where the U comes in, because they're the unit measurement, okay? And then kilo, really big, milli, really small, and you're just moving up and down this little chart here. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Because of that, I'm going to go ahead and skip this information as well. And I'm going to come straight down to here, and we're just going to start solving some more of these problems. Again, I'm hoping today should be a pretty easy one now that you are understanding how to use that chart. I'm also going to let you know that if you have questions at the end of this video, it's really important that you do come to a Zoom chat so I can kind of try to talk you through some of it because we're moving past this part after today. So again, King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. Should be something that you're pretty familiar with writing down, or one of those things you just kind of have to memorize. And I'm going to write it each time we solve one so I can show you how I'm traveling along the chart, okay? So there's my King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk, and it went from grams to milligrams. So grams is where I'm starting here, and I am going all the way over here to milligrams. So if I have 0.003 grams and I want to know how many milligrams that is, well, I'm going from grams to milligrams. So I'm going to make this number 10 times 10 times 10 bigger. So I'm going to travel my decimal point 1, 2, 3 places across because I had 1, 2, 3 jumps across. So that means that this answer will just simply be 3 milligrams. Think about what that means. 0.003 grams is like nothing. Super, super teeny tiny. So because of that, it makes sense that my number of milligrams is really small because milligrams are already really tiny to start. Okay? This time though, King Henry is going to move the other way along the paper here. So it says 25 milligrams, and I want to go from milligrams over here to grams. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 shifts to the left. So my decimal point would have been here. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 decimal points to the left. And I need to fill that spot with a 0. So that would be 0.025 grams. All right. Now, this one's a little trickier because they want you to go find the label. So this time, you're going to do something just a little tiny bit different. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And this time, you're going from milligrams to something you don't know. But here's what you do know. You've got your milligrams is where you're starting. And you can see that this number is getting smaller, which means you're moving to the left. So because of that, you're going to be measuring in an increment that's larger. So it looks to me like I went from 294 to 0.294. That would have been 1, 2, 3 shifts to the left. So that's all I need to do here. I just need to go 1, 2, 3 shifts to the left, and I would see that this 0.294 would actually be grams. Okay? King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. You guys can make whatever acronym you want for that one, but I always like King Henry. But now I've got 13.7 grams to milligrams. Gosh, they're really liking milligrams today, but that's okay. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk, so I've got 13.7 grams. Grams is where I'm starting, and I want to get to milligrams. So it looks like I'm going to be making my number 10, 100, 1,000 times bigger. So that's going to be 10 times bigger, 100 times bigger, 1,000 times bigger. and I will then fill in those spots with zeros to make this 13,700 milligrams. And how do I double check that? Well, 13.7 is a larger size, and milligrams are teeny tiny, so it definitely makes lots of sense that I have lots and lots of milligrams. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. All right, so I've got 8,240 milligrams, which are right here, and I want to go to grams. So that means I'm going to go all the way over to here. So that would be 1, 2, 3 shifts to the left, which means I will go 1, 2, 3 shifts to the left to make this 8.240. Obviously, you don't need that last 0. That would still be the correct answer. 0.43 kilograms. Okay, finally we get something other than milligrams here. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. So I'm going to go from kilograms all the way over to here to my unit base, which is grams. And you'll notice on this one, you've got a pretty small amount of kilograms, which makes sense because kilograms are really big. That's a really big measurement to use. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 shifts to the right. So that will be 1, 2, 3 shifts to the right to make this 430 grams. Now I'm going to beg of you to do the same thing we did yesterday, which is to pause the video and go try out 2 through 12. So that way I could just give you some answers, and then that way I can do some of these word problems I've been skipping the last 2 lessons, which I don't love. So I would love for you to pause, go do these 6 problems, and then restart the video when you are finished, because I'm just going to give you the answers. All right, so this first one is 3,050 grams. Then we've got 5,700 milligrams. This one would have gone from grams to milligrams. Here I've got 2.441 kilograms. That makes sense because this is a really big measurement. We've got, we went from 75 grams to 0.075 kilograms on that one. And then over here we went from 721 milligrams to 0.721 grams. All right. So we've got a couple of pages of word problems that I'd love to go through with you. And this one, it wants you to check your answer is reasonable, and I want you just to think about the size of your measurement. So kilograms is going to be really big, milligrams is going to be really small. That's kind of the way that I'd like you to double check your work here. So it says Hero has 5 kilograms of potatoes and 2 kilograms of onions. He plans to use 3.25 kilograms of potatoes and 550 grams of onions for a recipe. How many total kilograms of the produce will not be used? So there's actually quite a few different things that we have to do here. First, we need to figure out how much produce he has altogether, and then we have to figure out how much produce he has used, and then we can figure out how much produce is not used. So let's start first, because that's the easiest part, with how many kilograms he has altogether. So he's got 5 kilograms of potatoes and 2 kilograms of onions, which is going to equal altogether, let's see here, he's got 7 kilograms of food. So that's easy enough, okay? But then if I highlight this other part of it, I run into a little bit of a problem. Oops, I wanted a different color. So he has 3.25 kilograms of potatoes and 550 grams of onions is what he's using. So I have to do a little bit of work here. So because of that, 3.25 kilograms of potatoes is fine, but I need to convert this one because I can't add grams and kilograms. They're not the same thing to add together. So I need to change my 550 grams into kilograms. So we're going to take our little chart. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. We're starting with grams, and we want to know how many kilograms that is. So we'll shift backwards 1, 2, 3 places to the left, and that was 550, which will be 1, 2, 3 places to the left, which means he is using 0.55 kilograms of onions, okay? Now, because of that, I can go ahead and add that over to here to show me he's got 0.55 kilograms of onions, which all together, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 3. So he is using up 3.80 kilograms of food, right? So that's how much they used. 7 kilograms is how much they started with. So now I just need to subtract 7 minus 3.80, which obviously you see you can't do just yet. But I know about decimals, and I know that I can add 2 of those and it won't change my answer. And now that's going to help me subtract. 0 minus 0 is easy enough. And then 0 minus 8 I can't do, so that's where I will borrow. That becomes a 6, and this becomes a 10. 10 minus 8 will be 2, and then 6 minus 3 will be 3. So that means altogether the amount that he didn't use is 3.2 kilograms. Tricky one because it just requires a little bit of extra problem solving as we go, because we had to convert those units of onions into kilograms. All right, let's look at the next one. It says a U.S. nickel has a mass of 5 grams. I'm going to underline that. A U.S. penny has a mass of 2.5 grams. And it says, what is the mass in kilograms? So kilograms is what we're looking for. If of the coins in a bag containing 186 nickels and 72 pennies. Okay, think about this one for a problem, or for a minute. We know that a nickel has 5 grams. That's how much it weighs. We know a penny weighs 2.5 grams. And we want to know the mass in kilograms, but not until we figure out how much the mass is in grams first. So if I've got 186 nickels and 72 pennies, I can solve this. It's just going to take me a little time and work. So I'm going to do 186, that's how many nickels I have, and they weigh 5 grams each. So I'm going to multiply those by 5. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 8 is 40, and 40 plus 3 is 43. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. So I have 930 grams of nickels. And then I'm going to come over here. I had 72 pennies, and they weighed 2.5. So again, not necessarily hard, just, been a while since we did this stuff. 5 times 2 is 10, carry the 1. 5 times 7 is 35, and 35 plus 1 is 36. Bring down a place value holder, cross out what I added. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 7 is 14. Add those two together, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I have, I needed one number after the decimal point, so I have 180 grams in pennies, okay? So it says, what is the mass in kilograms of the coins in a bag containing 186 nickels and 72 pennies? So why don't we do this first? I'm going to first tell you that we have 1,110 grams of weight. But now I need to use my King Henry, doesn't usually drink chocolate milk, to be able to solve these problems. And so I have 1,110 grams, which is here, and it specifically wanted me to label it in kilograms. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 shifts to the left. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 shifts to the left, which means I have 1.110 kilograms of weight. That's a tough problem, guys. It's just a lot of work, right? I hope you were able to solve that one, because that was pretty tough. I'm also mostly out of time. So here's what I would actually love to beg you to do. I would love it if you paused. And if you pause this problem or this page right now and you finish questions 15, 16, and 17, you're going to be done for the rest of the day. And what's really nice about that is you will also have the answers to these questions to know if you did them right or wrong. Yes, they are a little harder, but this would be the best practice you could do. So that would be my advice, would be to pause now and do the last 3 problems. Hopefully you're joining after pausing to do those, because I'm just going to give you the answers. Number 15 is 715 grams. Number 16 was Garner for 40 grams. And then number 17 was 2,710 plants. And then it says you had 200 milligrams left over. So, that being said, if you just finished this work with us, if you did questions 5, 6, or 15, 16, and 17, you are done with math for today. If you skipped those, you've got a little bit more work you need to go do. You need to go do either 8-3, or you can go check your IXL weekly plan to see if there's more work to do there, okay? Log into IXL log into Zoom if you guys need some help with metric conversions.